Well, on this Food City Friday, we are focusing on the Food City Dish and a Dash recipes. We love the idea, quick, delicious, healthy meals at home. How, you ask? I have no idea. But registered dietitian Kirby Moir does, and she's going to show us how we can pack our pantries. Great to have you on the show.
Yes, and I think this concept is something that people really want to have in their toolkit at home. It doesn't have to be complicated to make healthy, delicious meals. And sometimes when we come on here, like, we want to share really fun ideas and kind of different things, but the people at home are like, well, that's great to watch her make, but can I do that?
Cannot get that done yet home.
That's right. Yeah.
Especially in the summertime, because everybody's so busy and you want to be outside. You don't want to be in the kitchen.
Yes, you want quick, easy things. And I think, too, we talk a lot about that word processed food. And that kind of has a negative connotation in our mind, like that's not a good thing, or I should be not emphasizing that as much. We really encourage you to figure out how to use those canned items, some of those frozen things, those shelf stable, to where that takes a lot of the stress off. And processed to me just means convenience. And you just want to have that awareness of some of the added salt, fat, and sugar. And what I love about this dish and a dash, our dietitian team at Food City is taking some of those center store items, our pick well focus items, and putting them together in meals for you.
I like that.
Yep.
And one of the things we talked about is how inexpensive it is, and especially right now with people trying to maybe cut back on expensive products, to find some of these, you can get some really good deals.
Budget friendly, and again, no stress about the waste factor, which is huge for me, because I love it when I'm like, oh, that's there, I can put it together. And one of my favorite items is canned beans. I cannot get enough of canned beans. I think it's easy that they are kind of, I don't want to say bland, but they don't necessarily have a ton of flavor. But the nice thing is they absorb flavor, which means they're so versatile, right? These are actually the Lux Pinto beans, which I'm kind of new to Tennessee. This was a new in my repertoire working for Food City, but they're delicious. I get why people love them. I used today to make a quick quesadilla, where this bean is actually going to be our plant-based protein. For a half of a cup, we get 6 grams of protein and about 7 grams of fiber.
Wow, so that's almost comparable with like a meat that you would put on.
That's right, yeah. So instead of doing like a chicken, you could actually do both. You could add a meat to this if you wanted. And then for our little vegetable, we just have a quick little chopped up bell pepper. You could actually do frozen. I chose to do fresh because, as you mentioned, those summer months, we have things in season, locally grown. So I say use those pantry staples with some of those fresh weekly buys to really, really use that. Super simple. And I like it with avocado, which is
avocado.
Yes,
so good.
Yep. And that's that nice amount of fiber, heart healthy fat, or if you kind of want to go classic quesadilla, you could use a little cheese. You'll notice I have this on a roasting pan because you're going to do these in the oven.
Crazy girl.
Super quick. And what you're going to do, you're going to heat the pan actually as your oven preheats. I use a little bit of nonstick spray. You put it in for about 5 minutes at 400. This is going to start to get nice and toasty. You fold it in half with a spatula, let it sit in there another 5 minutes, and you can finish on broil. If you have kids, you can cook up to like 4 of these in the oven at once. You're not over the hot stove. Super easy.
Making one at a time, and then you got to cut it into pieces so they all get one at the same time, and then you're just there forever.
Yeah, that's right. So you're in and out in about 10 minutes. And again, you're not cooking any meat or protein. You could even get a shortcut to where that is already chopped for you. Super simple, super versatile. And again, our whole wheat wraps, our beans, that's going to be that shelf stable component we're working with.
Very quick, very easy. And then look, it's like a summer staple.
Yes, I know. We talked about this. I cannot get enough of caprese salad. And one thing, we just kicked into June, which is actually National Dairy Month. So we do want to make sure we're getting a little bit of that dairy in. I love cheese for my dairy source. We get a little bit of calcium, a little bit of protein. Mozzarella is nice. It's a little bit lower in fat, but I've just sliced mozzarella. Paired that with a little bit of tomato. You could actually add cucumber, any other vegetable, again, you had that's in the summer season that's going to be fresh and delicious and came locally. If you're getting it at Food City, it's probably from one of our local growers. Love that. And then these are some of my favorite little things, which is the Tyson pre-cooked chicken strips. They are going to have a little bit of salt or sodium. And I mentioned that process or kind of food a minute ago. And one thing with sodium, that's going to help preserve the item to make it last longer on our shelf. It's also going to add a little bit of flavor. So that's really when we think about that. That's part of it, is just to help maintain the texture. We do want to just watch portion size there, and I've not added a lot of other salt, a little bit from the cheese, but that's one thing we want to keep in mind. But super, super simple, and that's going to get you through summer. You're going to crave that salad.
It's so
easy.
good. Oh my goodness, it looks so yummy. And I do love these. I always have these for a backup in my freezer, ready to go in case I run low on the fresh meats. Then I can just
easy.
those out.
And then they only take about a minute and a half in the microwave. So you love to know that. Super simple.
All right, some good tips. And she has more when we come back a little later on in the show. She's going to show us some other great ideas. Foodcity.com for more information and recipes.